Welcome to my channel. I'm the 20th Key, and this is Critical Thinking with the 20th Key. And this is going to be a teachable moment. This is going to be a quick snippet that I'm going to do. I just watched a video on Instagram, and I want to share it with you. I'm going to give you some background. I just saw this post by this gentleman by the name of Marcus Henry. And how I came to know about Marcus Henry. If you guys watch my Reunite Sandy Speaks video, the intro is done by this brother named Danique. He is a rapper. So I say rapper, entertainer. He does conscious hip hop. And he's down with the FOI, the Field of Islam. And I think Marcus is as well. And I think Marcus's wife is also in the Nation of Islam. And anyway, what I'm trying to say, this is what I call a teachable moment. I'm going to put this clip in, and then I'm going to talk about the clip, okay? This is critical thinking with the 20th Key, and so the goal and the objective of this series is for us to think critically, okay, people? So check out this video. Check out this
My
clip.
daughter made a new friend at the playground. I asked the dad if we can plan a play date. He's like, okay, I'll give your number to my wife and you can ask her. I don't know why that was weird to me. Aren't you her parent too? Men who have to ask their wives first bug me. Alright, so you know how people end up in bed because one thing led to another. Well, that husband said, I'm not gonna let one thing happen. She might as well said, I hate healthy relationships. She's bugged out because that husband communicates to his wife. She's bugged out over basic respect. See, now our daughters can't even be friends because you trouble. She's the type that would try to seduce a married man just to go online and say, why won't married men leave me alone? The brother's response was perfect, and it lays the foundation for any association with the opposite sex, which is, if you can't honor the boundaries set up that governs my relationship in the simplest way, you can't know me.
That was so funny to me. And I want to talk about it really quickly because I want to tell you my perspective, okay? To me, this is a teachable moment, give you an opportunity to think about some things. But when I first heard him, when I first watched it, I had to watch it a couple of times because it took me a minute to understand what he was saying, because I'm going to tell you my perspective versus his perspective. What he was trying to say was the husband was creating boundaries, not allowing himself to be in a position or in a situation that would have caused him to do something unfaithful to his wife. And when I was listening, it took me a minute to understand what he was saying. But he was listening. He was thinking about this from a male perspective. I'm in Los Angeles, and these women here are like ruthless. They would hit on your man in your face, okay? And this guy, Marcus, is a handsome guy, and he's in Los Angeles, and he probably has had women approach him. And so him and his wife, I see them on social. You could tell they have the most amazing relationship. I think the first time I saw him and his wife was on Danique's Instagram. And so what he's trying to say is, men, be mindful in situations. Don't put yourself in a position to where it could lead to something that you didn't intend to happen, right? And then he was also saying to the girl, you need to respect a couple and their boundaries. It's a lot to unpack with this, because that's not what I took away from it. Okay, I'm not married anymore, but I've been married for a long time. And in this marriage, the guy I married would try to do things to appease, because we were married, we were a couple. We were married for a long time, so you could tell that our relationship worked. In some instances, it worked, right? And it made me laugh, because the first thing I thought about, the reason why the guy I married would have told the girl to call me, or would have got her phone number from me, because I'm fanatical about my kids. I'm a helicopter mom. I would have been like, what's the child like? Is it a good kid? I'm not going to lie to you guys. I am a helicopter mom. My mother was obsessive just like that. I grew up in New York City, so I had a mother who was very protective. And the guy that I married was a white male from the South. And so he wasn't as protective, or grew up so in such like in an area or in a way where kids needed more protection and more observation. So that's one of the things that he and our parenting styles were kind of different. I came from New York City, he came from Tennessee, right? And so what I'm saying to you is, he would have said, oh, I can give your number to my wife and she can call you about that. And I wouldn't have thought anything about him, someone trying to hit on him or that type of thing. I'm laughing because I know the guy that I married would have done that similar because he wanted to make sure that it was okay, that I thought it was okay if they played together. Was this a good kid to play with mine? And I'm laughing. The reason why it's funny, and I'm doing this video, I'm trying to show you the perspective of men versus women. And then, so I also want to talk about the girl. He said, okay, y'all, I love y'all, young people. I love y'all so much, Black people. I love y'all. I have a daughter, and my kids do share with me that some of my thinking is antiquated. Okay, so if I'm wrong about this, if this has more to do with my age group or my generation than anything, y'all can let me know. But I thought it was unusual that a woman would post that on her social media. She said a man having to get permission from his wife is weird. What? I'm like, wait a minute, hold up. Possibly this young lady is a single mother without a man. And it's probably because her inability to recognize that when you are married, you are a unit. Okay? You are one. And you share in decision making. You share a lot more than the bed. Okay, that's one of the problems. Y'all out here screwing each other. Don't get mad at me. I said that, y'all. Okay, I take that back. Y'all gonna judge me. Remember, I'm a different generation, okay? But I think it's funny or unusual or weird that she will post that on her social media. If she's posting this on her social media, men that have to get permission from their wives are weird. What does that say about her? Does that say when she's in a relationship that she doesn't expect the man to be mindful of her feelings, her emotions, and what she thinks? I just find that really unusual. And to think, okay, so let's unpack this. Her daughter found a playmate. And you guys, I was a mom. I was like a full-on mom, okay? You guys, how I lost myself with being a mom. And if my daughter did find a friend and they were really clicking, just like this girl, I was like, oh, we got to get them together. You know, I understand that thinking. And so I'm trying to think like her. When you see your kid having a good time with someone and they're bonding and they're having a good time and they're making a great friendship, I could see why she says, oh, they got to get together. They're having a great time, okay? Sure, I'm the same way. But why did you think it was weird that he would say, ask my wife? I'm talking to my wife. And I'm laughing to myself because Margaret thinks it's about making sure you're not getting yourself in a position where you're not exposing yourself to a situation where you could end up in bed with her. I'm a girl, so if y'all know who I am, I should probably tell y'all. I'm a grown-ass woman with grown-ass children. I count my sex partners on one hand. The guy I was married to was number 4. The only person I've slept with since I was married is one guy, and it's a fling. And when I have sex, it's only with him, nobody else. So the situation of accidentally falling on someone's penis, it's not going to happen with me. Okay? But I guess that happens in today's culture. And that's what he's saying. He's saying that the husband was creating boundaries for himself to ensure that he doesn't participate in anything that could lead him astray, right? And my take on it was the husband was like saying, let my wife take care of this and let's see what she thinks just to be sure. I fully thought that he was saying that. This is from my own experience, my own perspective, is that he knew his wife. If you guys aren't married, have been in long relationships, you haven't been in long relationships, in male-female relationships, you talk about stuff. You share your experience and you share what you think. And I also want to say this, you guys, because I'm in all these different spaces, and my purpose is to liberate Black people. Okay, I'm a 20th kid. Y'all know me from me. Y'all know me. And y'all found me on YouTube. Because I don't always discuss my YouTube channels into these different spaces. I have a goal and objective is to create a movement with conscious black people looking for liberation. And then I go in these spaces and I just determined recently that men and women in their 30s are looking to hook up. I'm in these spaces talking about the topic, but these behaviors, it's about bonding and finding their mate. And because I've already done that, that's not on my mind, right? And so I'm saying with men and women that we perceive things very differently as a man and as a woman. Marcus thinks that the guy was making sure that he wasn't putting himself in a position where he was going to do something with the chick or whatever. He wasn't taking liberties that he thought his wife may have been uncomfortable with. And my position was, he was saying, ask my wife, because my wife want to make sure that it's okay for her to play with your kid, is your kid's a good kid, or all this stuff, okay? And as women, I think you understand that. I also wanted to address the girl, going back to the chick that posted that. Young lady, if you see this video, sis, what was you thinking? I don't understand why you find it weird that a man who is the father of a child and he shares the responsibility with the mother, why is it okay for him to discuss that with his wife? And again, Marcus thinks it's about setting boundaries. Sis, and I may be wrong, I think it's more about he don't want the responsibility of the play there or any of that. He don't want to be bothered with you. He's shooking the responsibility to his wife, is what I think. Okay? So, anyway, this is critical thinking with the 20th key, and I think this is a teachable moment. I would love some feedback as to what you guys think about the situation. Please share your thoughts. Thanks for joining me, you guys.